Hello, and welcome to yet another blog post. I wanted to take this post to discuss what I've been working on since October. So, more specifically, we'll talk about the new note system and player journal, and perhaps we'll get into polishing and the death screens as well. But I just want to say sorry as well for the delay. I really underestimated how long writing would take me. Um, but now I feel comfortable to showcase what I've been working on because I think it's at a good standard. Um, and this video is not going to be scripted. It was scripted. It was about 3 minutes long, um, and it just sounded incredibly dull. So I'd much rather take the approach of just chatting to you guys for like 10 plus minutes. So grab biscuits, teas, whatever, and just sort of chill, basically, and just listen to me ramble on. But yeah, so with that, let's get right into the update. So firstly, we can see that the screen size has been reduced, so the things like font and shapes, they've all been reduced, so the screens aren't in your face. This has happened for all the screens in the game, and all the screens are subject to further change as well. Just things like the chapters and the setting, I think I'll revamp in future updates. But for now, let's dive into the new note system. Okay, hello. So we've just jumped into level 2, and if I hit pause, it brings up a series of buttons, and you'll notice that the note button is no longer grayed out. You can actually access it this time. So if I hit notes, it will bring up the note menu. Now, on the left hand side of the stories, and on the right hand side is the tutorial note, but this will act as the note placement for the last note you read / find. So I'll get into that bit much later. But for now, I'll just talk about the note stories. So 8 in total, but 3 are currently unavailable. I have plans for maybe future updates including them, but for now I'll just leave them sort of unavailable, and I'll probably go more into those kind of stories in later blog posts. But starting at the Forsaken Runes, these are your main notes, and they will flash red. Hints and Whispers are your tutorial based notes, they're going to flash yellow. Curse words are your riddles, so they're going to be tied to objectives and puzzles. They're going to flash green. And Curse of the Groot Slang and The Unfortunate Fate of Omar are both side stories, they're also going to flash green. Now, that might sound like a lot of information, but I guess if you play the game, it's better than me sort of like butchering the explanations of all of this. Plus, there are tutorials, written tutorials, much like this one, and I think you can find another on the player journal and on loading screens. So hopefully that will help the players out, just understand sort of how everything functions. But okay, let's show you how this operates by finding a note. So immediately, because this is level 2, there is a note on top of this cabinet called Horrible Screams. So you might have noticed as well that the in-game prompts have been polished, and so is the crosshair. It's a new color scheme and positioning on the screen. Just makes it that much more just better in my opinion. So if we go to read it. Okay, so horrible screams. I have heard within these past nights such horrible screams. I have made it my business to bring forward this matter to our captain of the guard, as it has been most unsettling. He reported to me today that no such thing has been heard. Preposterous. It has not come from my poor patient who sleeps ever so soundly these days. Okay, so you'll find these notes scattered all across the rooms. There's 27 to be precise. But this one is flashing green. So if we go back to the note menu, we can see the last note has been updated to read horrible screams. This will stay consistent when you go in and out of levels as well, which is great. So you don't always have to go back to the original location. So this actually helps with things like curse words. So it's like understanding the riddle, trying to decipher what it means. You don't have to go back to the original location. You can just look at the riddle and just sort of decipher it yourself whenever you want to, basically. So currently there is no system put in place to inform the player what story this note belongs to. So you're going to have to do your best just flicking through them all at the moment. I am working on a system currently, but that's probably for the next update. This update is just about the writing. But I can tell you right now, it will be Curse of the Groot Slam. So immediately you notice that now horrible screams have is unlocked. And if you go around the level finding all the notes, these will become unlocked and you can literally just flick through them. And once you have all the notes in the story, you can basically make sense of the story. Okay, so that was the note system. Hopefully you understood how it sort of operates. I would advise maybe sort of just playing the game just to get a feel for it. But like I said before, this update is primarily about the writing. I want to see how sort of players take to curse words and all the stories and sort of how they engage into the new world of the Sacred Ruins. So I'd love to take any feedback on board via the Steam community page. That would be cool. But yeah, so that was the note system, and let's move on to the player journal. Okay, so we've just hopped into level 4, so I can show you how the journal operates. But if I hit J now, you immediately notice the difference in the size of the journal. So it's again been reduced. You have the controls up here, so you use the mouse buttons to turn the pages, much like maybe games like Skyrim when you're flicking through a book. But so yeah, I'll go through the contents page. You have 4 main chapters: inventory, characters, bestiary, and controls. So the inventory has been moved. No longer can you press I. I wanted to put it in the player journal so that it so the player uses the journal more often. Um, the characters talks about just characters in the game. The bestiary talks about monsters, and then the controls are like the tips and obviously the PC controls. So if I flick through, you notice inventory 4 slots for the 4 keys. You have the character information, you have the monster information, and then you have the controls and tips. So you notice that the characters, keys, monster are literally gibberish at the moment. They're just basically random symbols. And this is basically tied to progression. So I can demonstrate this with a particular note that I can read, or a key. So once you pick up a key, say if I get the black key in level 4, the sprite image of the black key will appear here and it will say the black key. So for instance, if you want to know more about the world, these will reveal itself once a particular note in the game is read. So I can show you that now by going to find curse words 4 in level 4. Okay, so we've just arrived at curse words 4. Now if I go to read curse words 4, so quiet as a sparrow perched up on high, with faith shaken from you, your words were deep lies. Salvation is found amongst the company you now keep, but its purpose is to guard and render this life an eversleep. Okay, now if I immediately open up my journal again, we'll notice that in the monster page, if I flick through, half golems have now appeared. So this is how the system basically works. You have to find a particular note and then a cryptic passage will reveal itself. Currently there's no system put in place to inform the player that a passage has been revealed once a particular note is read. I'm still working on that. Again, like the note system, this is all about the writing. But yeah, this is just tied into progression. I really like it because I did a 40-minute test, and by the end of the game, when I had all the notes, I was able to flick through this journal and just sort of read more about sort of the characters and the monsters, and it felt like a sense of like completion. So I was really digging that. I actually wanted to do this for my FMP university release, but I just didn't have time. So um, hopefully this is better. I think it's better than the current state of the journal, the version you're playing right now. But yeah. So that was the player journal. So now we can move on to death screens. Okay, hello. So we're still in level 4. I wanted to show you how the death screen sort of operates, what's changed. So I will have to sacrifice myself. Not pretty. But yeah, so immediately you'll notice that you no longer break dance on the floor. The screen dips to black, which is better. And you sort of, you look up and then dip to black. And you'll notice that death messages now appear. So there's 10 different ones in total. And basically they just offer subtle hints to the story. So yeah, like all of a sudden a set of cold hands wrap around your throat, unable to scream, you gaze longingly into the darkness. So very sort of just, I think fits with the premise of the game now. And obviously you have the symbols returning, and it's like, what do the symbols mean? And it's just a better fit than sort of you died, try again sort of vibes. But yeah. So that was the death screen. And so yeah, that's basically the new update. I wasn't gonna go into sort of much. I didn't want to keep you guys for a long time, but notice that the full list of sort of updates and fixes are going to be released when this update drops. I think over the weekend. I really hope you do enjoy it. I hope you enjoy the writing. I really worked hard on it, and I want to say a big thank you as well to my brother Ollie because he helped proofread it all. Um, but yeah, just get a feel for the sort of new narrative, the new game, and I hope you enjoy it. And so the next update will be sound. I want to revamp all the sound, sort of redesign it, and then the update after that will hopefully be levels. So it's things like props, and once I've done that, it's hopefully going to be working on the full release of the game. So thank you for being patient. I hope you are all doing well, and yeah, I will see you later. Goodbye.